All right, Nick, let's talk about the New Orleans Saints head coach Kellen Moore doing a really great job with his staff. We know the offense is going to be under control, but we're starting to see the defensive side of the ball come together as well. And this latest hire by Coach Moore, really, really exciting for Saints fans. We'll get into that in just a moment. But before we do, I'm Andrew, and this is Saturday Morning Inspection. Nick, as I alluded to, exciting hire by head coach Kellen Moore for the defensive side of the football. We're starting to see things come together in that aspect. Let's jump into the article. We talk more about it on the other side. This is from NBC Sports and says, head coach Kellen Moore is dipping into the college ranks as he builds out his first staff in New Orleans. According to multiple reports, University of Texas defensive backs coach Terry Joseph will be making the jump from the Longhorns to work with Moore and the Saints. Tom Pelissero of NFL Media reports that Joseph will be the team's defensive pass game coordinator. Joseph is a cousin of Broncos defense coordinator Vance Joseph, have been with Texas since 2021. He's also coached at Notre Dame, North Carolina, Texas A&M, Nebraska, Tennessee, Louisiana Tech, and LSU. A bevy of coaching experience there for Joseph. Nick, curious what your thoughts are on this one. I think it's going to be a really good one. But before we get to you, Saints fans, in the comment section below, let us know what side of the coaching staff are you the most excited about? Head coach excluded. Do you think the hires on the offensive side of the ball have been more exciting, or do you like the hires they've made on the defensive side of the ball so far? Let us know what side is winning you over so far in the comment section below. But nonetheless, Nick, what do you think about this latest hire for New Orleans?
This is a steal in terms of bringing a coach into the fold, especially when you look at Texas's performance, focused on just last year, just for a moment. Their defensive backfield, they surrendered the fewest passing touchdowns in the entire college football world, entire D1A college football. No team surrendered fewer passing touchdowns than the Texas Longhorns. They did that while getting the third most picks and surrendering the seventh fewest passing yards. So no matter how you look at it, they were an elite passing offense. And remember, sacks in college football count against rushing stats, not passing stats like they do in the NFL. So it's not like Texas could rely on their defensive line getting 6 or 7 sacks a game to help those numbers out. Those were numbers in the college football stat keeping world, which means the defensive backfield for the Texas Longhorns was extraordinary. They were a really good football team, obviously made a college football playoff run. This is a great hire by the Saints when you just focus on that. But you also have to look at who the Saints' competition is when you look at the NFC South and, of course, the NFC at large. Most of the teams there either have a young quarterback right out the college ranks, or the better teams, most of them seem to have a college kind of offense around their quarterback. Let's focus on the division here for a second. Michael Penix Jr., right out of the college ranks. Bryce Young, not too far removed from the college ranks. And even when you look at the Buccaneers with Baker Mayfield, he still plays like he's in college, right? They're just kind of the scrambling spread kind of craziness. Feels like he's back at Oklahoma. How about the rest of the NFC? The Eagles just won the Super Bowl with a college-ish kind of offense with the Philadelphia Eagles. The other NFC Championship game participant was the Washington Commanders, Jane Daniels, right out of college. You look at the Bears with Caleb Williams. You look at the Packers with Jordan Love. You look at the Vikings with McCarthy. You go down the list. Most of the teams in the NFC have either a quarterback right out of college or a college kind of offense around their quarterback. That means you need defensive coaches that understand those offenses and know how to attack them. And who better to do that than a defensive backs coach from one of the preeminent universities in the college football world? Texas plays in the SEC, which for anyone who's familiar with SEC football, which I'm sure Saints fans, a lot of you guys follow LSU. SEC is the closest thing you're going to get to the National Football League. So you're getting a phenomenal hire. I think this is one of the great steals any team has done this offseason in terms of bringing in an assistant coach. Great job by Coach Moore and the Saints here.
Yeah, Nick, and I think, you look at this team, you break it down. I think this could be the area that the Saints need a lot of help with on the defensive side of the ball as well. There's some veterans back there, guys like Matthew, but Matthew, he's getting a little bit older. He's been around the league for a while now. You got a young guy in Kool-Aid McKinstry's out there. Then Adebo, he's coming into the fifth year of his season here in the NFL. So I think that this could be a secondary that really benefit from a solid hire like this. But you bring up a good point, and I think this is something we see more and more back in the day, old school NFL football. When you talk about like the Tom Landry days, that was the time when I think the NFL was really kind of innovating and building new and exciting ideas, and then they would spread to the rest of the football. But I think nowadays you see a lot of new ideas come up through the college ranks first and then hit the NFL. So I really love the ideas that they're doing here and getting it from one of the best, defensive secondaries in all of college football. Really solid hire by Coach Kellen Moore here. I love when people come out and say, "Hey, I'm not afraid to get a young hotshot up and coming coach," especially when Kellen Moore, that's exactly what he is. He's hotshot up and coming coach, but he's not like, I'm not gonna be afraid to go out and grab that kind of guy. I am secure in what we're doing here, and I want to make this team as good as possible. So good on Kellen Moore for being able to do that. I think it's gonna make this Saints team even better for the next years to come.
Especially, and you bring up a great point, kind of a youth movement that's likely coming around the corner for the Saints. We know the Saints cap situation. They're going to have to get younger. They already have a really solid, my opinion, front four, especially a mix of some young guys, some veteran guys. There's definitely some room to improve, no denying that, but they've got some pieces. They're going to have to address the defensive backfield, get younger there. They were a bottom 10 defense last year in terms of passing yards per game surrendered. I love the strategy here. You're bringing in a guy who knows how to coach young guys. You're going to have to bring in young guys on that side of the ball in the defensive backfield, and he's just perfectly situated to handle the NFC South and NFC offenses at large. Again, I'm going to keep reiterating this. This is one of the better hires any new coach has made this entire cycle.